Welcome back to Parental Alienation and Narcissism by J. Claude McDaniel. This program is to help you heal and navigate through the hardships associated with narcissistic alienation. Please like and subscribe.
Welcome to episode 26. My name is J. Claude McDaniel, author and victim of alienation. I share my experiences, education, and provide valuable information that I hope will help you navigate through your plight. This episode is opinion-based narrative on the subject on how alienated parents choose to cope. In Part A we'll discuss learning to live while waiting. Part B will be relative to choosing to hope every day. Now for learning to live while waiting. There was no phone call, no unexpected knock at the door, no message saying, "Can we talk?" Just another quiet evening. Robert sat at his kitchen table holding a birthday card he had mailed weeks earlier. He wasn't sure if it had ever reached his daughter. Still, the next morning he mailed another one. Not because he expected an answer, but because love doesn't always depend on being acknowledged. For many alienated parents, the hardest part isn't the courtroom. It isn't even the conflict. It's learning how to continue living while carrying an absence that never seems to leave. Robert eventually realized something important. He could spend every day fighting what he could not control, or he could begin rebuilding the parts of his life that still belonged to him. That decision didn't happen overnight. It came after countless moments of grief, countless questions, countless nights wondering whether his daughter remembered the father he had always tried to be. One lesson slowly became clear. Acceptance is not surrender. Acceptance is recognizing the difference between what belongs to you and what does not. Robert could not force reconciliation. He could not speed up healing. He could not rewrite someone else's understanding. But he could decide how he would live while waiting. Instead of allowing alienation to define his entire identity, he slowly rediscovered other parts of himself. He volunteered in his community, shared his experience with younger people who needed encouragement, used his skills to help others. For the first time in years, he experienced moments of purpose that existed outside the conflict. Those moments didn't replace his daughter. Nothing could. But they reminded him that his ability to love, mentor, and encourage had not disappeared. Alienation had changed part of his life. It had not erased who he was. One evening, Robert wrote something in his journal. "I may not control the timing of healing, but I can control the person my daughter will someday find if our paths cross again." That thought became his compass. He would continue becoming someone she could recognize with pride. Not someone consumed by bitterness. Not someone trapped in yesterday. But someone whose love remains steady. In the Part B of this episode, we'll dive into choosing hope every day. Choosing hope every day. As time passed, Robert discovered that coping wasn't about pretending everything was fine. It was about creating healthy ways to carry the grief without allowing it to consume his future. One habit became especially meaningful. Every Sunday evening he wrote a letter to his daughter. He didn't know whether she would ever read them. He wasn't writing to persuade. He wasn't defending himself. He simply shared pieces of his life. The books he had read. The memories he treasured. The pride he continued to feel as he imagined her growing into adulthood. Those letters became more than words on paper. They became reminders that his love remained alive. Robert also realized he couldn't carry his grief alone. Many friends wanted to help but didn't fully understand. Some avoided the subject altogether. Others offered well-meaning advice that failed to acknowledge the depth of the loss. Eventually, he found support among people who had experienced similar journeys. There, he discovered something powerful. He wasn't alone. Others understood the unique sorrow of loving a child from a distance. Others understood birthdays without phone calls, holidays without visits, milestones witnessed only through photographs or stories. Those conversations didn't erase the pain, but they reduced the loneliness. Perhaps the greatest change happened quietly. Robert stopped measuring his life only by whether reconciliation had happened. Instead, he focused on becoming the kind of person he hoped his daughter would someday find. He invested in his health, strengthened friendships, continued helping others, laughed again, dreamed again, built a peaceful life. Not because he had stopped loving his daughter, but because he understood that hope grows best in healthy soil. One afternoon, while walking past a bookstore they had once visited together, Robert noticed a novel she would have loved. He smiled. purchased the book, wrote her name inside the cover, and carefully placed it on a shelf at home, not as a symbol of waiting, but as a symbol of hope. If the day ever came when she wanted to know who her father truly was, he wanted her to discover more than old photographs. He wanted her to discover a man who had chosen compassion over resentment, growth over despair, love over bitterness. The lesson from this episode is simple. Coping with parental alienation is not about forgetting your children. It is about refusing to lose yourself while continuing to love them. Hope is not passive. It is built through daily choices, through quiet acts of kindness, through personal growth, through living a life that remains open to reconciliation while still embracing the present. Because the strongest message you can leave for your children is not found in anger. It is found in the life you choose to live, even after heartbreak. And sometimes that life becomes the bridge that helps lead them home. This ends episode 26 of my podcast. In episode 27, our final episode in this series, we'll get into the Targeted Parents Declaration. Thank you for reviewing my podcast and listening to this episode. Please like, subscribe, and comment. It helps this valuable site to grow and spread sound child behaviors and alienation information. Sincere thanks, J. Claude McDaniel.